Okay, 18th of April. Going well. There was a point this gist wasn't that consistent, but I think we're back. I think it wasn't just consistent for like 3 days. That was the 3 days I learned you need more of network and knowledge. So changed what my schedule or schedule looks like. Now it's more of me working only at night like this, but during the day I want to keep learning and reading. I want to devote my whole time to self-isolation. I get hot, feel emotional, but it's only when I break out from being isolated. I feel the real world hates. The real world, it's from it's filled up with lots of roller coaster. So I try to exempt myself from the normal world. Like while I'm still in my body, I try to make myself feel it's just me. Now let's talk about how April is going. Now, regretfully, and I use the word regretfully, um, life is what it is. You predict, you hope for the best, and sometimes with your whole expectation, with your whole hope, it doesn't just go as you plan it to be. But the month of April has been going perfectly fine. We've kicked in numerous projects. I myself have, gotten to understand that the easiest way to get better, is to first of all keep imagining it. The only reason why we often try to get better is because we first imagine the better in our head. If you're okay with a particular version of you or particular version of something, you won't try to improve it. Growth comes in from imagination of improvement. Once upon a time, people were walking on foot. Somebody imagined the bicycle, how can we make it faster? They now imagine the motorcycle. How can we make it more balanced? They imagine the car, or driving by road. Okay, how do we travel by air? How do we make transportation better? Airplane. Now, consistently, if at any point everyone had felt this particular point, it's okay, and they stop there, that is where they stop. So what I'm trying to say in an essence is our success and improvement comes in with how much of an imagination we can currently have. How much do we want more? Making decisions, understanding things is beautiful, but this year I figured out that it's also very temporal. At the beginning of this year, it had lots of words when I talked about putting yourself first, being very focused. There is so much enthusiasm. I think somewhere life blew it on me, and I fell out of proportion. Started being focused on emotional stuff, focused on distraction, felt bad for some days. Then I figured out that I had, at a particular point in time, got drifted. While I was taking blunt early this year, there was a day I smoked well deep, and I now asked myself a very funny question that shocked me because I actually felt I was going local. The question was, what if when you're conscious, like when I'm making this video, it's practically just you being in the matrix, and the real you is when you close your eyes and you listen in your brain? What if every single thing physically feels like an illusion? You meet people who pretend to be who they're not. Like every single person will get to interact in this open world. But at the end of the day, when you're quiet, what you reflect with is just you. So what we basically do as human beings is during the day, we do what we call data gathering. And towards the evening, or whenever we're asleep or whenever we relax, we now become the real self and we start processing those data. This is simply why if you're taking a new course, at the beginning you have little imagination about what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Then as time goes on, you keep taking the course, your brain is now getting more, enlightened about a particular field. You cannot start having imaginations, you cannot start having dreams, you cannot start having maybe likely solutions, you cannot start reminiscing some of the things you learned. So then I started getting to understand that whenever I smoke for few minutes, I don't really care much about the outside world again. It's as if I'm focused on, processing information. January and February was what restructured me. Then in every single thing I learned that I did not really have much of a work to do. I just had less of a plan to execute the work. Sometimes we basically feel the way to achieve certain things or certain things we want to achieve will take X number of time, but it wouldn't, or no matter how much or how long you think it will take, there can always be a shorter route if you plan properly. So map out my plan properly, and this is my plan basically. Now I didn't really inform you all on the Fiverr. There was a point that I spoke about an opportunity I would want to bring out. My prediction software, which is my AI prediction software, has been working tremendously well. A few years ago when I was doing the sports betting, I wasn't really that structured and organized. Yeah, I was a guy, created a good software, it could pick good games, people would, want to use it. Sometimes they win consistently, sometimes they face little losses because of how the system wasn't really having a good PRO. When people win more, we don't repost their testimonies, we don't even invite them over, let them come and tell us their story. When someone who hasn't made a million for the first time made a million through it, but it's silent. Then the moment people start making losses, or there is a point of loss, you see people calling you, dragging you online, calling you names, and then those bad names were not the one attaching. There was no referral. So if you invite 20 people, which you would not even have the motivation to, the referral was very slow. Or was it consistent video tutorials to let people know the softwares work? There was no consistent video tutorial. It was basically whenever I'm available to make one, I would schedule one. So the company Renaps, basically just went local and winded up. Not like it winded up fully anyway, but it wasn't just really active. Better things would have been done. Would have been able to achieve better milestones if we had better plans. So the last time I made a video, I talked about an opportunity. I looked at my AI scripts this year and I felt, you know what, it is high time I bring Green Apps back, but not just bringing it back with every single platform, because there's something I've really learned. Before now, I would start now, figure it later kind of attitude, where I have something I think I want to do and I love, and I'll just start figuring it on the way. But now I'm beginning to learn on how to make a whole lot of research, gather a whole lot of data, plan the serial notes the best way I can, even before I launch. Thinking and planning is not really that difficult. What is difficult is you unlearning what we learned. We learned we needed people's validation. If you're actually on social media, you're making a comment, someone will first tell you, get out with your 200 followers, with your 50 followers. People feel you should be respected, you should be honored, or the only time you should be able to talk is when a lot of people like you. If you're in a community or in a space where nobody really interacts with you, people won't tell you that's why nobody gets close to you. I see people getting close to you is like a medal or an award. And this I wouldn't want to use the word demonic, or this very bad mentality is what makes 97% of the world are poor, while just 3% are the ones controlling the world. Because those 3%, you see how they're always on their own, isolated, trying to figure out their life, plan, imagine, creative, why the other people are just looking for attention. The real pushers, movers, shakers of the world, they don't like attention. They don't even have time for attention. What do they need your attention for? But then you see those very loud celebrities, and the thing I even learned is those ones who are looking for attention are always the one depressed. I'm yet to see somebody who is isolated and who has developed love in his work, tell me he's depressed. Depression is always coming from people who at one point in time they had so much attention, everyone is reaching out to them, they felt that life was blue, life was rainbow, had lots of beautiful colors in it. And then once maybe there's a recession hitting, or their media source, maybe they're not let's assume they're artists, they're no longer making as much money as they would, all of a sudden they're going through depression. Real happiness often kicks in when you fall in love with your current position and have consistent imagination and try to make things work. So if I'm currently in a particular position of my life and I'm happy, right? I love myself, I'm happy I'm alive, I'm happy I'm learning, I'm happy I'm me. Now I'm consistently trying to, every single day in this world right now, I'm trying to read things, I'm trying to gather up certain information that will enable me to build a particular kind of future that I think I would want. Like me, for instance, now I want to build up a life where I am this software programmer who is really very fit, really very handsome, has a whole lot under his power, and who has been able to raise an empire of corporations. Now, okay, fine. It's a blank, it's a blank dream, and I can say it 200 times, but it doesn't mean it will come to pass. The only time it starts coming to pass is when I start imagining certain things more. Like what kind of empires would he have? What will each of the empire do? Quick story of how he opened it. Why did he open it? Oh, he's very wealthy. What are his businesses? Oh, how is he handsome? Okay, how is he fit? How did he get fit? What's his schedules like? What's his timelines like? Now, every single person needs to have a character in their head, and that character is them, but a better version of them. So you love yourself, but you have a constant better version of you, and that better version of you keep adding and subtracting it. If today, right now, I consume lots of media around, oh, he's also very mean. He when you mess with him, he would want to beat the hell out of you. And then one day I read a book that tells me how being non-violent, calm, retaining your words, saying them very scantily, being someone who would want to go through the law, and someone who doesn't really talk much has more power, stuff like that. Then immediately I will start rewriting that profile or that particular person in my head, from being someone who is very violent to someone who is very cool and calm. So basically what I'm trying to say is this: from the month so far, I've gotten to understand that the biggest power, like I said yesterday, comes with the power of creative thinking. And the only way you'll be able to think positively is when you consume the right data. So I want to be making my gist often, because I feel when you consume the right data, it's basically when you read the right books, have the right conversations. If we both have a conversation right now, and let's assume you love a particular field, you love computer science, for instance, you want to become a software programmer, and for years it's just all you have is I want to become a software programmer. You have not imagined what kind of software you'll be creating, or what kind of programming languages are available, or what would your timeline be like, what will your calendar be like, what will your alarm be like once you become a software programmer, what and what would you want to achieve, how and when, and the more you start adding details to those wishes and making those wishes constant imagination, you want to build up a character, a castle in the air around what that person, which is you, a better version of you, what it would be like. That is the only time you can start getting things done. So me right now, I look at myself every day and I tell myself, okay, fine, today, before today runs down, I want to be able to know this because it will help me do this. I don't know how to really explain most of these things in person or at once, and that's why I'm happy this is a daily gist. So the gist for the 18th of September, firstly, we're giving in every single thing we have right now into building a better character. We've actually learned that the only reason why we have not made a whole lot more wasn't because we know, sometimes we know we still go back to the things we ought not to do, and it's practically because we spend more time getting stuck on this simulated world. You want to be friends with people whom you won't even know 10 years from now. I consistently want to remind myself that every single person I'm seeing right now, I'm likely not going to see them tomorrow. So I want to do things that, if and that's tomorrow, I know I had done those things, I'll be more happy. Sometimes I regret. I know you also regret. I regret more the times I was in school. I chilled with my friends, took them to the garden, we went to the restaurants, we played ball, we did this, we did that. If I had spent that time learning a course or doing something online, maybe I would have learned something that would have, had a chain reaction to give me a better future. And I regret all these things. And that is why I keep telling myself right now that I wouldn't want to be in a situation right now where years from now I'm also regretting something. So the biggest thing I think I've regretted, the biggest thing you've regretted is time not spent with yourself. We all have very beautiful perceptions, very beautiful version of ourselves. But somehow it's because we're subconsciously tuning ourselves into the negative frame. For instance, when I say you love yourself, you admire yourself, you now start building a very positive, version of you. You can also do the opposite. You can consistently not even have time for yourself. Don't love yourself. Keep insulting yourself. Oh, now you don't get sense. You be mugan. Oh boy, you the fuck up. Oh boy, I dumb. Now me they carry you. Oh boy, you telling yourself, oh boy, I broke like hell. I wish that would make up. From there you start having very crazy stuff. Will I ever even make it? Maybe person can go die like this. So constantly you're rebuilding those energy. You no longer have imaginations of maybe a better future. You now start having backward dreams. Start investing your life in other people. It is what other people do that matters to you. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. The people you're seeing, they keep on changing. You keep on meeting new people, and the old people keep on going. At the end of the whole day, even if you know all the knowledge, you have an MBA in business, even if you have a degree in accounting, even if you're a motivational speaker who knows what is wrong and right, as long as you don't love yourself and you're not building a better version of yourself in your head, with all your knowledge, you will just keep going around circles. And that is because that is what I feel, has been happening to me. Now, the fact I've not always been isolated, I'm always trying to be fun with people who I want to reach back with this person, is what is keeping me here. Now, I'm telling myself every single day, people you're seeing now, you won't see them. In fact, 5-10 years from now, except I consistently become good and I keep getting better, you might not be listening to me again. You might be listening to some other person. I think 10 years from now, you the listener will probably have grown up kids, or probably a child, or probably you're more advanced. You want to be on a different parastata, on a different level of thinking. So the only reason you will keep listening to me is if I keep doing better. Maybe 10 years from now, I'm worth billions and billions, and then you're falling in love with me over the years you have seen progress. But how will progress come if me myself don't first of all appreciate what I have right now and start thinking of a better future? So that's something I want from you. So let's talk about the relapse again. The algorithm is going to be working perfectly fine. It is something that is not just designed to make whoever is using it money, but it's also designed to make you a referral money. The referral I'm talking about is not go and bring Amos to bring Tom to bring John to bring Paul. Peter must pay Paul, Paul must pay Agnes. No. It is basically anybody can come there, use the prediction software. As it's telling you play this, you play. If you don't want it, you use our automated betting software. It does the betting. Well, now let us assume right now you want to do the betting yourself. As long as somebody brought you and you bought a software from us, that person gets paid. It's more like affiliate marketing. So if you buy any of our software, the person gets paid. Now the way I'm actually planning the system is I want to have I want to have a life where I'm more organized. I want to be able to point one thing and finish it. Now, if you've been following me up, you see I'm somebody who is confused. I'm doing this, not like I'm confused. The problem is I'm switching between projects. And this time around, I've told myself that I need to first of all imagine myself within a project, input my whole head into one particular project, execute it before I leave. And my project for this particular April, like I said, it's simple. Finish up everything that has to do with dannyokec, prediction software. The AdSense course were done. We have reshot the whole AdSense course. It's not on the website, but it's coming on OKBot. So the AdSense is done. Focus right now on the prediction software. build up the referral, set up the system. By the end of this month, I want to be seeing notable what is it called again, success. And I know it's really very achievable. Thank you all. This is the 18th of April 2023. I would have loved to go on and on, but this is already 20 minutes, so I'm going to be stopping this just here. I'll see you all tomorrow.